Okay, so get ready, because today we are diving into something that I find just fascinating.
Okay.
It's this group
Yeah.
called the Jeffersonian Community,
Interesting.
and they're all about
Mm.
Make America Great Again
Okay.
and giving it like a 2.0 upgrade, as they put it.
Make America Great Again 2.0.
I like it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's very catchy.
It is.
And they're taking inspiration from Thomas Jefferson himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We'll unpack what all of that means, but I'm already hooked just reading this summary document about them. The whole idea here is to empower local communities to really take charge of their futures.
Gotcha.
So let's dive in
Right.
to this Jeffersonian community and see what this Make America Great Again 2.0 vision actually looks like in practice.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first, what's at the heart of their vision?
Okay.
What are they hoping to achieve?
I think at the core of it.
It's about decentralizing power.
Okay.
They really believe that the federal government has just become way too powerful. And so they want to shift that focus back to local communities.
Oh, yeah.
So really giving people more control
Yes.
over their own lives and, decisions
Yeah,
being
yeah.
made at the most local level possible.
Like this small government philosophy,
Yeah,
but taken to a whole other level.
exactly. And they look to, Thomas Jefferson
Yeah.
for inspiration here with his emphasis on individual liberty
Mm-hmm.
and limited government.
Right.
But it's not just about harking back to the past. They're really trying to
Yeah.
apply these principles to modern day challenges.
So are they saying that Thomas Jefferson, if you were alive today?
Well, they argue that he would likely advocate for a much more localized approach to things like education, healthcare,
Interesting.
believing that communities themselves are better equipped to address those needs than a distant federal bureaucracy.
I can see how that would
They're
appeal
again
to people who are feeling.
frustrated by the government.
Absolutely.
Right, or unheard by the government.
Yeah.
But who are they trying to bring into this community?
So they are aiming to build a pretty diverse coalition.
Okay.
They mentioned constitutional conservatives, libertarians, grassroots activists, anyone who feels like the federal government has become too big and intrusive.
Okay.
They also talk about wanting to attract rural advocates, traditional family and faith groups, conservative educators, local leaders.
It sounds like they're casting a pretty wide net here.
Yeah.
Hoping to unite people from different backgrounds around this shared belief in localism.
Right. It's this idea that solutions can be found at the local level.
But wouldn't that create almost like a patchwork of different communities, each with their own set of rules?
That's a great question. And it's something they actually address directly in the document.
Okay.
They argue that localism isn't about isolationism. It's not about
Yeah.
states becoming these
Yeah.
mini nations.
They believe that by empowering communities to handle their own affairs, we can actually create a stronger, more resilient nation as a whole.
So it's like build a strong foundation
Right.
at the local level,
Exactly.
and that will support a stronger nation.
That's the idea.
Okay, so they've got this vision of a more localized America. They're drawing inspiration from Thomas Jefferson. But how do they see this actually working in practice? What kind of tools or resources are they providing?
That's where I think it gets really interesting. They're
Let's
not just promoting an ideology. They're putting together really practical resources and support for their members.
So it's giving.
Yeah, so they offer training programs on community organizing, workshops on conflict resolution. They're even bringing in expert speakers
Wow.
to discuss strategies for effective local governance.
So they're not just saying, go empower yourselves.
Exactly. You're giving people
You're giving them concrete tools.
Yeah.
And strategies to do it. Yeah, it makes sense. Building consensus, resolving conflicts. That's crucial
It is.
for any community,
It's
especially one that's trying to chart its own course.
Yeah.
But it's still a little hard to picture how this plays out in the real world.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example
Yeah, absolutely.
of what a Jeffersonian community might look like in action?
So imagine a small town
Okay.
facing an economic challenge. Maybe their local factory shut down. Jobs are scarce.
Right.
Now, instead of waiting for the government to step in with a solution, the people in this town, inspired by these principles, decide to take matters into their own hands. They come together, they identify their unique assets, and they develop a plan to revitalize their economy.
So what would that look like?
Well, they might start by forming a cooperative to support local businesses, maybe attracting new industries that align with their values, or investing in vocational training programs to equip their residents with new skills.
So it's about fostering self-reliance
Yeah.
and using that collective wisdom of the community
Exactly.
to find solutions that work for them.
That work for them.
Now I want to circle back to that Make America Great Again 2.0 tagline.
Yes.
Because it definitely evokes a specific political movement.
Yeah.
But they seem to be giving it a different spin.
Right.
How do they connect that idea to this vision of local empowerment?
Well, I think it's a paper play, really clever rebranding strategy. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
They're tapping into that existing sentiment of national pride, economic prosperity, and a desire for strong communities.
Yeah.
But instead of relying on top-down solutions from the federal government, they're saying, let's achieve those goals by empowering local communities.
So they're taking that familiar Make America Great Again message and giving it a grassroots twist.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like they're saying, we share the same goals, but we believe a different approach is needed to achieve them.
Yeah.
It's a bold move.
It is.
It makes you wonder, could this model of local empowerment actually gain traction?
That's the big question. And what would it mean for our country if it did?
Yeah.
Can this decentralized model effectively address the complex challenges that we face as a nation?
Right.
You know, can it bridge political divides? Can it foster genuine collaboration at the local level?
These are all really important questions.
Big questions.
Yeah, and there's no easy answer, but these are the kinds of discussions we need to be having
Absolutely.
as we think about the future of our communities and our country. So for you listening out there, what would your ideal local community look like? What values and priorities would you emphasize? It's definitely something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Jeffersonian community.